Hello and a very warm welcome to New Age Parenting, and today we are going to talk about one subject which has been there in parents' mind. They've really been fearful about it. Every child is talking about it, and of course in schools this is something which everyone wants to know what is happening, and that is substance abuse. There was a time in 80s when it was very prevalent. It was there in youngsters, in colleges, in different institutes, but then there came a time when not much was being talked about it. Not many schools were going through it, and many people were not even aware. Most of the parents think that it is not for my child, but recently with a lot of news items, and in fact headlines today also did a sting operation where they realized that it's so easily available, all these substances which are, we used to call them as drugs, but yes, they are so easily available for school and college students. So what is the reality? Why we've just again moved over to substance abuse, and how the parents and schools are taking to it? That's what we are going to talk about in our today's episode. In our soul searching segment today, we have two very special people. We have Christopher HANVEY, who is General Manager, Genesis Global School. A very warm welcome, Christopher.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming. And we have a parent, Seema Chowdhury, who has two beautiful daughters. Seema, very warm welcome.
Thank you.
Christopher, Seema, we have a confession. We've been talking about substance abuse. Till now, we used to think it's not part of our society. But what is happening, what is coming in news is something which is really disturbing. So we have a child who confessed to us. So let's move over to that child and listen to her confession.
I moved to India around 3-4 years back, and I was looking towards making new friends. And so I went to a few parties, rave parties as they call them. And over there, a lot of the kids were experimenting with different drugs, and they were drinking, and I couldn't say no because I wanted to fit in, and so after trying it, I thought that I knew it was bad for me, and that that I could get addicted, but still it felt good at the time. But now that I've done it, and I don't know who to go to talk about whether I'm becoming an addict, and what are the implications. I don't know who to go to, and I'm really scared.
Christopher, this is a difficult situation for a teenager to be in, and nowadays we are seeing that they are getting more and more confused. What do you think, as like being part of a school administration, what should be the role of schools and parents?
See, I think this situation has been going on for a while. Substances have changed. Essentially, it boils down to solving the problem with the parent connect on the one side and the school connect on the other side. I think a supportive home environment, a parent connect, a lot of information is available to a parent about what is happening and what is not happening. And I think children who are undergoing substance abuse must, at the moment, since we don't have a tertiary kind of government counseling setup where you can walk in and talk, I think children would be safer either talking to parents or schools today.
What is the reaction of parents usually?
The parents' reaction could be from moderate to hysterical. It depends on how much information they have been exposed to about children, and what are the things that they do and they don't do. But typically, I think it would border on a more rigid and stressful time. So it's perhaps that is why many children don't talk to their parents about it.
See, today schools are becoming child-centric, the way, and I've been talking to different schools, they are accepting this exists. But why there is no awareness amongst parents? They are not even aware this is happening. Why we as schools are not even, letting the parents know? Don't you think it's important to be spread to the parents that this is a reality in schools today?
I think all schools should call their parents in and talk to them about things which may not be happening in the vicinity as well, but they know it's happened somewhere, and there is a possibility it could happen in the very near vicinity tomorrow. So you could perhaps bring in the parents and onto a platform where you could talk about all. Even parents can share experiences. You know, they could have gone through this earlier, either in their own youth or with their children. And I think the collective wisdom of that group will, you know, take the parents forward.
Yeah.
And they should be sharing of
Because
information. It's
rather
very
creating
important.
fear, you know, because I don't think, Seema, the first time if you come to know that your child might be into drugs, I think it will be the fear which will grip you.
Fear and I mean, is insecurity or is you know.
It's like it can't be my child.
Yeah, it can't be.
Helplessness.
It's really hurting. But I believe that the counseling. But suppose if something happened with my daughter, I know my daughter. She doesn't go to school counselor because she feels that lots of children, lots of friends, teachers, everybody know about that.
Yeah, it will become a label. They
Yes,
will be
yeah.
labeled.
So she, I mean, I know my children. So she maybe come to me and ask in a different way. Maybe not tell me the direct, you know.
Yeah, maybe, you know,
She's-
my friend is going through and
somebody
something
is,
like
it happened, you know, many times it happened with me. Somebody is doing this and that and how somebody react. So it's the best guidance from the mother or father, what I believe.
If I look at the hours a child spends in school, I cannot think of a solution without the school's involvement. Whatever, you know, we might feel at this point of time that the child may feel that they just might get labeled. But honestly, I can't see her finding a solution to such a problem, should it happen tomorrow, without the school.
100%.
Because the maximum number of hours
I'm
are with
not
us.
saying without the school, but what I'm saying, there is some improvement in the school should happen. Suppose the counselor is there, they shouldn't sit in front of like you know, is the teacher room. Staff room, what do you say, staff room, and then you can directly go. There should be like after school something happen.
Yes.
But substance abuse is something which most of the parents not aware. Most of the kids, you know, are also 9th, 10th students are getting into it, getting attracted, but are not aware how prevalent it is in today's youth.
Substance abuse is prevalent. We can't wish it away. It starts from cough syrups, sniffing adhesives, sniffing petrol from parked vehicles, and so on and so forth, you know. And I think as a school, you have to be extremely careful about how you store these materials.
Yeah, that's true.
How do you hold an inventory of these materials? How do you know whether half a kilo of adhesive is missing from the carpentry shop?
My
So that
God, we
means-
never thought about
Yes.
it.
So which is why across the school, you have an awareness, you talk about it, you're continuously talking about it, even down to your carpenter, to your engineering maintenance supervisors, because they use adhesives. And across the school, teachers, even dining, you know, the dining hall staff, if it's a residential school, you have to talk about it right across school so that everybody is aware of the potential hazard.
And why do you think they are getting attracted towards it? What is it? I know there's a high, of course, but what is lacking in their life? Because everyone is trying their best to make their life easy. You know, the way CBSE is coming up with all the efforts being made. Parents are doing their best to make their life good.
Yeah.
What is happening? Why are they moving towards it?
I think
See, there is peer pressure on one side. That's my impression. Of course, Seema as a parent would be able to also give us insights on that. I think one is the peer pressure. I don't think also, but on the other side, whether we are strengthening our children to withstand the peer pressure.
yes.
How do you withstand peer pressure? What is peer pressure? The feeling of want to be seen as in with a particular group. Why? Because I, as a child, am enamored of that group, right? If other information was made available to me about something else that is equally cool, then maybe that distraction would help me, you know, with the peer pressure that I'm having.
Do you actually see your child under peer pressure? Do you think they're going through?
I do see sometime, but I think the parents can only teach them because the education starts from the home, what I believe. And Mr. Christopher is right, school can help in other way, but the first education start from home. So I believe that lots of parents, they don't have time to look after the children first. As he said, they are in overseas, they don't have time, and it's all matter to the child education and peer pressure. Like, first thing I want to tell that values, they are not valuing, the correct.
Seema, Christopher, I think somewhere we are not able to tell them what is the value of values, which are actually quite confusing for us also. So time for a short break, but we'll be back soon, so stay tuned.